In this video, I'm going to set up and tune this Gilo GT riser and these Gilo GTL 88 limbs for a field round. So I'm going to shoot this for a NFAA field round and tune it for that for a couple of reasons. I'll explain it in this video. For those of you that are new here, my name is Jake Kaminski. I'm a two-time Olympic silver medalist in the sport of archery, and we're going to make this channel a great resource to all types of archery. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscription button and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is uploaded. I'd appreciate it. Before I get too far into the video, I want to thank one of my viewers who sent me basically a piece of fan art, wearable fan art. It's a Barebow close t-shirt with horseshoes and hand grenades, and I would agree, hand grenades and horseshoes are just about as equal as Barebow is when you call for you know, close enough on this, especially when you're string walking and you just that's close enough. So, or at least that's how I'm approaching it right now. So I thank that person who sent this to me. I'll put links in the description below on where this is available on Amazon. And if you're interested in sending me anything, either to review on my channel, fan art, or anything else, send me something cool. There's a P.O. box in the description below. So thanks again to people who have already started sending me stuff. I appreciate it. I'm going to tune this bow for a field round. I'm going to do it for an NFAA field round, which is a basically 5 feet or 10 feet or whatever the closest shot is, all the way to 80 yards. And the reason I'm doing this is, well, to be honest, I'm being a little bit lazy at this moment because these arrows that I am shooting, these are the Carbon Express Maxima Pros, the Recurve RZs. So they're very lightweight and they are cooking out of the bow weight that I'm shooting. And I'm afraid that if I go down in bow weight too much to get a good 50-meter tune, I'm going to have a lot of problems with getting the arrows to spine out. So I will be doing a lot more barebow tuning, and I'm going to do specific barebow tuning distance videos or styles of shooting in the near future. On the list right now is a field archery tune, a world archery field archery tune, a 50-meter outdoor world archery round tune, and an indoor 18-meter world archery round tune as well. So I'm going to do all those tunes in separate videos at different times, and they'll be coming up. I'll probably be working on an indoor tune sooner than later because that's coming up, indoor season, and we'll play with those that setup. But for the time being, what I'm going to do, because I have not really shot these limbs a whole lot, I'm going to find my 30-meter crawl, and then I'm going to tune at 30 meters with my 30-meter crawl. The reason that I'm going to do that is it's a good middle of the range, and it'll give me a good idea as to what I need to do on barebow tuning and learn on my own. And everybody else that's watching at home, I apologize in advance if you're banging your head against the wall as I am doing this, because I might be doing something completely wrong, because I've never tuned and set up a barebow before. I've heard of people talking about setting up barebows and would like to learn more about it. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to find my 30-meter crawl. I'm going to come back up here to 20 meters just to see how my tune is doing using the 30-meter crawl in case my arrows want to miss the target. I don't want to lose any arrows today because I really have no idea what this tune is going to be. I've shot a couple arrows right here real quick, and it's it's pretty bad. So we're gonna learn today together, or maybe you already know and I'm gonna be the one learning, but that's my plan for today, and see where my maximum distance is and see where everything is in real time. So join me. So the way that this riser is built asymmetrical. So I don't think I'm going to need as radical of a negative tiller that I had set up in previous videos with the win and win limbs on this riser. Because like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll find out here in a hurry. Okay, so that should be even tiller. Check it after I snug these up. And then I'll reset my brace height because I'm sure I gained a lot because I took almost a turn off of the limb bolts themselves. I'm within a 32nd of being perfectly even. And verify my knocking point height. Just under a ½ inch high. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to go back to 30, find my crawl for 30, come back here to 20, check my tune really quick, and then do all my tuning from 30 meters. All right, at 30 here. All right, so 30-meter crawl. And we're gonna find that here. Alright, I'm going to shoot one more end just to verify my crawl. Forgot to check my brace height. I'm at 23 centimeters, which is the high end of what I would like to be at, but I'm going to leave it there for now. Probably take it down, depending on what my tune is going to show me here. So I found my crawl at 30. I'm going to shoot a bare shaft at 30 here. The flat shaft seemed to be flying okay. I might hit really high with bare shafts based on kind of what I'm looking at and seeing flight look like. Yep, really high. A little bit weak, but really high. Woo! That's funny. Alright, I'm going to take the camera up there and we're going to see what the tune is doing for the moment. Okay, so what we got here. These are the 3 shots I shot at 30. I'm still messing with my crawl. It's going to change anyway based on the bow weight changing and things like that. And as you can see, my bare shafts are a mile high. This one's not as high, so I was afraid it was going to hit high, so I held a little low on my point on. These two I was pretty much the same on. So I have no idea what I'm doing, like I said. So for 30 meters, a 30 meter tune for a 30 meter crawl, this is showing me the knocking point is way off, way low. But I'm going to assume that it's because of my crawl. I'm going to back my bow weight down a little bit, because it is a little bit weak here. Plus I'm going to lower the brace height back down to my acceptable range of where I like it. And then I may see what my point on distance is with these arrows and see if I can work with a tune for my point on no crawl longest distance and do it at 30 meters. Because like I said, I've not really even shot this bow enough, nor these arrows enough, to even know what my point on is. I know that it is more than 65 meters, or at least it was with my win and win. However, that may not be the case with this setup, because everything is different on every different bow. Both what the tune is required, as well as how fast everything is and how the limbs break the arrow spine down. All that affects everything. So there's a lot of factors going on here that I don't know what I'm quite doing yet, but I'm going to work on figuring it out. Alright, so I'm going to take you back and forth with me, and I'm going to find out where my point on is, how far back it is, and that way I'll have a better idea of what I'm going to need to do to get a optimal tune at the further distances that I'm going to be shooting at a field tournament with this type of setup. Alright, so this is 43 meters. The distance isn't important. I'm just going to take this back in increments because I don't want to be searching for arrows in the woods. Way low. I'm going to go up to 40. Alright, found my 40 crawl. We'll find 50 next. Okay, so I had to let my phone cool down. It overheated in the sun. So it stopped recording halfway through this session. I already got my 50 meter crawl and my 40. Now this is 60 here. So we'll see if I can find my point on without running out of room with the fence that's just behind us. man, that bottom finger stings. It's weird. As I crawl less, my bottom finger's hurting more now. It was the opposite with a symmetrical riser. Yeah, it's oddly opposite on this bow. I don't know if that's because of my even tiller. I have no idea, to be honest. I don't even know. So I might play with my tiller. I'm probably gonna go a little closer and have a point on crawl and see what it's gonna do for my impact point up close with changing the tiller, because I gotta get this crawl under control. It's so far. It'd be great for NFAA field for 80 yards, because I'm at what, 66 yards right now, and I'm still this far down a Yoast tab at 60 meters. So I'm gonna see what I can do if I can get this a little bit better, because this is it's a little outrageous as far as how far I'm having to crawl. Yeah, my anchor's low, I know that, but that's what I would like to keep it for now. I'll play with it. We'll find out. Okay, here we are back at 20 meters in the shade. My phone can't handle this. There's one shot with even tiller. Alright, this is the end of the extreme, 1/4 inch of negative tiller. So bigger on the bottom. And now I'm going to see where my impact point is. The same exact crawl, same point of aim as well. So I hit higher as I would have guessed. So that is not going to help me. Feels better at full draw though, I can tell you that. Less pinch on that bottom finger, so. But that's what the deep crawl gives me, I guess. So I'm gonna try to get a good point on at some point, somewhere, somehow. What I'm gonna do for now, I'm going to just crank these limb bolts down quite a bit. I'm gonna take maybe 2 turns off and see if my tune is still okay. The arrows are a little bit weak right now anyway, so maybe if I take these 2 turns off and make sure my tiller's still good and brace height's still good, of course. See if that's going to help where my point on is going to be, and hopefully it's a bit more reasonable. Like I said, 80 yards is a bit of a, that's a long ways right now for me. I can't get to it anyway because the fence is in the way. I have to rearrange the yard and where I have my target, and I'll figure that out eventually, but just not right this moment. All right, so that is 2 turns off. Okay, so that's about 1/8 of an inch split. All right, brace height's good, 22.5. I'm gonna shoot some flet shafts, bare shafts, and just see if that crawl or the stiff weak has changed much. I'm sure it has. That's a lot of weight to change here. Yeah, now they're super stiff. Well, not as easy as I was anticipating. Given you can't just move your sight and call it a good day and tune it for the weight that you like to shoot, you have to find a combination of the arrow weight, the arrow spine, your draw weight, the arrow length, and all of those things to get a good point on. So I may be playing around with some stuff some more here, making more barebow tuning content, and you'll be learning with me, and I hope that that's okay. I hope this video wasn't too frustrating. It wasn't frustrating to me. It's kind of just eye-opening a bit of, all right, you know, not as clear-cut and dry as I thought it would be. That's okay. I'm human. I like to learn, and you know, this is just a small little obstacle to overcome, and won't be that difficult in my opinion. Now, if I were to pick like a 20-yard game, that would be different, or just a 50-meter game, that would be different. I think those would definitely be a lot easier to set up. But trying to control your point on and your tune in the middle of wherever you're trying to tune best for, whether that be up close or further away or in the middle of your yardage, that's all different. So I'm gonna have to be playing with this a lot more, and I might just pick something a little bit easier to go with and make a commitment and a chosen decision on what type of distance, type of round, type of whatever to shoot. Because I think to get a point on at 50, I'm gonna have to shoot a much heavier arrow or a lot less draw weight, which I probably wouldn't really oppose the less draw weight a whole lot. And the reason that I'm saying those things is because if I'm gonna shoot a 50-meter game, like a USA Archery or a World Archery type of 50-meter round, I just wanna be point on. I don't wanna have to crawl at all. Same thing with 20 yards. I want to be point on, no crawl at all. That'd be so much more consistent to higher scores, in my opinion. Now, for the NFAA or the field round or the USA Archery field round, I would get my point on at my longest distance and then adjust from there. So I'm closest at where my setup is for the NFAA field round, but I can't get to 80 right now in my yard in my setup. So I'm gonna have to do that and figure out if my 80 is on point on with this setup at the draw weight that I want. Again, this is just gonna be a progression, and things will be getting interesting as we go along. So I'm gonna try to do like a weekly-ish, probably weekly would be what I would like to do, a weekly Barebow tuning learning session. So I'll be learning and hopefully educating some of you out there, and at least giving some of you out there also some entertainment, and you can laugh at me all you want. And if you have any constructive criticism, feedback, ideas, post them in the description below or in the comments below, please, so I can learn along with you guys as well. I'm gonna dig up some resources on tuning barebows and figure that out and read some more into it. I've briefly skimmed over it and I figured, yeah, I got this. But apparently, I don't even know where to start at this point. So I'm gonna figure it out and get playing with it. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, consider hitting the subscription button and the notification bell, as well as the like button. I would appreciate it. Also, please consider supporting my channel. If you head to my website, jakekaminski.com, there'll be info and links on Patreon, apparel, books, and equipment sales, PayPal donate button, a P.O. box to send things to, and above all else, please share this video because there's no better advertising than word of mouth.